Hello there. Welcome to Slice of Eternity podcast. You are not a mistake because God does not make mistakes. You are so special. This podcast will stir up your imaginations and engage your soul to see the beauty and truthfulness of the gospel of Jesus Christ to bring healing to your soul. Kindly like, share and subscribe to Slice of Eternity on YouTube and all podcast platforms to stay up to date on all episodes and events. This is episode 8 of Slice of Eternity, and today I want to talk to you about who cares if Jesus died? Who cares if Jesus died? Now, Christians believe that Jesus Christ died and rose again, and that forms the basis of the salvation or what they believe. But in practice, the question is, do they really believe in the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ? Does their action and practices actually reflect the fact that they believe in the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ? And that is what I want us to talk about. Now, in the 1990s, there was a popular song around, and the title of the song was Heresy, and it was sung by an American rock band called the 9 Inch Nail. Well, the part of the song that drew my attention was the chorus, which said, "God is dead and no one cares. If there is a hell, I'll see you there. Your God is dead and no one cares. And if there is a hell, I will see you there." The producer of the song was called Trent Rezno, and he was interviewed by You magazine in 1994. And in the interview, Rezno spoke about the meaning behind the lyrics of the song. He said, "I was trying to explore some of the paranoia I have as a sexually active person in the age of AIDS. I guess I felt cheated for not growing up in a more liberated era. At the same time, what gets me mad is the way some people have used the epidemic of God in helping them to promote their own agenda." What Trent Rezno meant was that God is an idea that is being used by some powerful group of people to promote their own agenda. His rationale behind the song is that Christianity contradicts itself and that it is a religion that is used to control people. So, in a sense, Christianity has become a tool of mind manipulation that the strong use against the weak. It doesn't surprise me much, because in my interaction with a lot of people, I hear them say things like, religion is a tool used by some powerful people to control the minds of the weak, and Christianity is no different. Similar to the words in Rezno's Heresy song is Frederick Nietzsche's God is dead concept. And if you know a little about Friederick Nietzsche, he was a belligerent atheist, and he made the assertion that God is dead. Now, he didn't mean that God was literally dead or had actually died. Rather, the idea people had of God, he meant, had died. People who hold on to the death of God philosophy have used the phrase in a literal sense, meaning that the Christian God who used to exist at some point has ceased to exist. This is the complete statement made by Friederick Nietzsche. He said, "God is dead. God remains dead. We have killed him. How shall we comfort ourselves? The murderers of all murderers. What was the holiest and mightiest of all that the world has yet owned has bled to death under our knives. Who will wipe his blood off us? What water is there for us to clean ourselves? What festivals of atonement? What sacred games shall we have to invent? Is not the greatness of this deed too great for us? Must we ourselves not become gods simply to appear worthy of it?" Now, the idea in Nietzsche's statement is that God does not exist, so humanity must take the place of God. There is no God, so man must take the place of God, man must become God. For both Nietzsche and Rezno, God is dead and no one cares. After all, we can take the place of God. Man can take the place of God. We become God. In essence, what they are trying to say is that We should trust in ourselves rather than put our faith in some kind of transcendent rescue from the joy and pain of life. No one is coming from space to come and save us. We have to save ourselves. That is what they meant. If God is dead, who takes his place? If God has died, if God is dead in the sense that God is no longer of use to us, then ours is a world of peril. Our typical means of thought and life then no longer makes sense, and the very structure upon which we evaluate everything becomes unhinged. If God is indeed dead, then we will respect him no more. And if we have no respect for God, then how should we respect anybody? If the Supreme Being cannot be respected because he's dead, is it possible to respect inferior human beings? No wonder we see a lot of abuses in church, because on the one hand, the Christian believes that God died and he rose again, and that is the foundation upon which our salvation is built. That is the foundation upon which our salvation hangs. Yet in practice and in action, seems to me that we do not believe that Christ indeed died and rose again. Seems to me by our actions that we agree with Nietzsche's statement that God is dead and so man must take the place of God. No wonder some supposed ministers carry themselves as though they are gods. They occupy huge positions and make their words infallible, and they choose to do whatever they think pleases them. To me, I think in these actions sounds like there is no God, so man must be God. If the death of Jesus indeed means something to us, how is it that we do not practice what we preach? How is it that we do not practice the very words he spoke to us? In my view, the church is a very beautiful place. A very beautiful place where people of like minds have to come together in a relationship, in a community, to worship the Lord. But at the same time, I keep learning from a lot of people that the church has really caused a lot of hurt. If the death of Christ really means something to us, how is it that a place that is supposed to show love to the weak, how is it that a place that must exhibit the very nature of the man we claim to follow has become a place where there's so much hurt? People leave the church embittered. If the death of Christ really means something to us, how is it that we don't love the way he loves? How is it that we are not able to forgive the way he forgives? If the death of Christ really means something to us, how is it that we care about the people who give more in church and neglect the poor? We forget that one of the things that was upon the heart of Jesus Christ was that the poor will always be around us. They will always be among us. Personally, I feel that the church has tied people with a lot of rules, a lot of regulations. People are scared to do things in the church, even though to them they feel they may be doing the right thing, but because of the rules in the church, they are not able to express themselves. It has resulted in a lot of offenses in the church, so people come to the church and they are bitter. How is it that we claim to believe that Jesus Christ died and rose again, but we don't care about each other? And as a church, we are filled with offenses. I will be talking about the culture of silence in some upcoming episodes. But here is a brief of what I mean by culture of silence. In the church, we have not been encouraged much to voice out our opinions. And so when you see some things going wrong and you try to voice out your opinion on that, you are called out, you'll be threatened. And so people have to keep quiet and endure And when they feel they cannot take it any longer, they walk out with bitterness in their hearts. And they go speaking ill of the church they were in. Meanwhile, that is not what it's supposed to be. A lot of the times, when people are talking, accusing the church, the problem is that the church and all the things are happening together. So we don't separate one from the other. Okay, for instance, what Jesus Christ came to do was very beautiful. What he portrayed, what he preached, everything he did was very beautiful. And it's up to us now to follow what he did. Up to us, his followers, to follow what he did. He exhibited love and expected us to show love to the world. He received everybody and expects us also to receive people. So I say it like this: he saved us to save others. He loved us that we will love others. But what he came to do, very beautiful thing, but we, his followers, are the ones who have turned the thing around. You see the thing? So instead of love, we hurt. There are a lot of abuses going on in the church people are not able to talk about. But the question is, if we love like Jesus, how do we turn around and hurt others this way? So I think that if the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ means something to us, then we would be mindful of how we treat others and handle the people he died for. See, I read a book long time ago, okay? And the title of the book was The Christian Atheist. The author of the book was trying to explain some of the actions a Christian commits that makes him look more like an atheist. So I'm a Christian, alright, but by this action, I'm kind of denying or denouncing the death of Christ. And genuinely, it's true. How does it make sense that me as a preacher, the people I'm supposed to lead, show them love, I turn around and hurt them? I twist and turn and manipulate scriptures just to bind them. Okay, so a lot of the people out there look at the church and all that comes into their minds is hurt and abuse, hurts and abuse, hurts and abuse. It clouds the beauty of what Jesus Christ actually came to do and what he died for. So for someone like Friederick Nietzsche, God is dead because the people who claim to follow him are not giving the world enough reasons to believe. We are not able to prove that he exists. We are not able to actually represent him in the world. So I ask you, if Jesus really died and you believe he died, what sense does it make to you? How do you live it? How do you prove to the world with your life as an individual, as a member of his church, that indeed he died and you believe that he died? Yes, Jesus died, but how do you care? How do you care that Jesus died? What difference does it make that Jesus died? He died for you and he died for the world. Yes, Jesus died, but the pages of the Bible give us the assurance that he rose again. I believe he rose again. And because he lives, my faith, our faith, the Christian faith, has a strong foundation upon which it stands. God died, and I care. God died, and we care. And because he lives, we shall live also. We care because he didn't die alone. We died with him and have risen with him. And for this matter, we set our minds on things above and not on things on earth. because our lives are hidden with Christ in God. And because of this, we make every effort to love like He loved and to care like He did. Thank you for listening to this episode of Slice of Eternity. I trust that you will make some time to reflect on some of these. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching for Eddie El Shaddai. You can also listen to more mind-stirring and soul-engaging episodes of Slice of Eternity on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Please do well to like, share, and subscribe to Slice of Eternity on YouTube and leave your comments and questions. Till we meet again, remember, you are not a mistake.